For lesson 4, let's look at example 1. It says, Molly has 1 3/8 cups of strawberries. She needs 3/8 cup of strawberries to make 1 batch of muffins. How many batches can Molly make? They want us to use a model to support our answer. Alright, so like we did in lesson 3, remember that if the denominator is the same, it makes our job much easier. And here we have eighths in both of our terms. So Molly has 1 3/8 cup. That's the total amount, right? This is the total amount of strawberries that she's got. And she needs, for each of the batches of muffins, 3/8 of a cup. So she can make multiple batches of muffins. First thing we want to do is we want to change this mixed number, 1 3/8, into an improper fraction. That'll make our job much easier. So 1 3/8, if we're talking about eighths, right, we're dividing everything into eighths. 1 would be 8/8. 1 would be 8/8, and we would add 3/8 to our 8/8, and 8 plus 3 is 11/8. Okay, and so now that we know that 1 3/8 is 11/8, we can set up our problem, because we want to know, out of the total amount of strawberries that we have, 11/8 cups, we want to know how many 3/8 cups groups, how many 3/8 cups can we get out of 11/8? So this is really the question. So our denominators are already the same. So really 11/8 divided by 3/8 we could say is equivalent, because really if we just multiplied both of these by 8, we'd get 11 if we multiplied 11/8 by 8. And if we multiplied 3/8 by 8, we'd get 3. So really 11/8 divided by 3/8 is the same thing as 11 divided by 3. It will yield the same result, okay? So it wants us to use a model to support our answer. I have put in a tape diagram here. It's got 16 units in it. And I chose 16 because I have more than 1 cup of strawberries, so more than 8/8, and less than 2 cups of strawberries, which would be 16/8. So I just made 16 boxes to illustrate the point. Now, first thing I want to do is I want to shade in the total amount of strawberries that I have, which would be 11/8, or 11 out of these 16 boxes, right? If this is 16/8 or 16, then I want to fill in 11/8 or 11. There's 11 out of 16 shaded in, and I want to know how many times 3 can go into this 11, right? So let me choose red here. Let me draw a bracket on my first group of 3. There we go. There's 1 3. Here's a second 3. Let's make a third 3, and the last 3. Okay, so we've got our brackets here now that represent groups of 3, and of course the pink is representing the total number of cups of strawberries, the total number of eighths of cups of strawberries, eighths cup of strawberries that we have. So let's count them up. It's that simple. The first bracket is 1 group of 3/8. The second bracket is a second group of 3/8. That's 1, 2, 3/8, right? The third group is a third bracket full, a third group of 3/8. And then we come here and we have an obstacle. We do not have 3/8 for this last group, for the fourth group. We only have 2 of the 3. So that looks like this: 2 of the 3. That's 2 of the 3/8 that we need. So if we come back here, we count 1, 2, 3, and 2/3. 11 divided by 3, or 11/8 divided by 3/8 is 3 2/3.